Here we are visiting the famous White Sands Missile Range. And here we go. We're driving here on the main road. Now this is crossing the White Sands Range. Now here we're actually entering the park. And it'd be a good idea to have a high ground clearance SUV when you visit this park. Certainly recommend it. Now, here we go. A little bit of a contour there. And here we see the vehicles visiting park are SUVs and trucks. Here we are at the White Sands National Park in New Mexico. And today is Saturday, May 20th, 2023. It's about 5:40 in the afternoon. And the weather is very pleasant. It was a hot day, a little bit of rain, but now we're coming in probably about 75 degrees. You can feel the air getting colder as the sun goes down. And of course, this White Sands National Park is one of the largest of its kind in the world. And when you say of its kind, what are we talking about? These are gypsum sand dunes, and this is the largest expanse of this white gypsum sand in the world. And as they mention on the park sand, that the astronauts can clearly see the White Sands National Park from space. There, it's very windy today, and that wind is, I guess, part of the signature of the White Sands National Park. Quite fascinating. And it's rising up from the heart of the Tularosa Basin. It's one of the world's great natural wonders. A great wave-like dunes of gypsum sand have engulfed 275 square miles of desert, creating the world's largest gypsum dune field. Now, occasionally the road in the park can close due to missile testing. Now, here's the park, and to get to the park, I have to drive on the paved road that crosses the White Sands Missile Testing Facility. So that road will be closed, and of course access to the park is of course removed. Now you can see that there's quite a lot of foot traffic here. Probably within a couple of weeks the wind would cover any foot tracks, but it's certainly a beautiful day, beautiful sky, and of course we're in New Mexico. There we see a breathtaking view of the white sand, gypsum sand. I see an occasional footprint here and there, but we certainly see the ridges that are created by the wind. And here is an example, there in your hand. Now, this walkway actually makes it a whole lot easier to walk any distance, because it's a little treacherous there walking in the sand, but here the walkway makes it nice and comfortable. And here we're in the park proper. Now, if you come to the park, normally this is a desert area, so it's going to be warm, but here in New Mexico it can be a little chilly in the wintertime. Certainly comfortable today. Now we're leaving the park, we're going on the access road, and here we see a good example of just the endless dunes of white gypsum sand. There we see that beautiful sky, and this is actually a military facility, missile testing site. We actually stayed in the town there adjacent to White Sands, which of course specialized in housing military personnel visiting the testing range. So here we are, moving along. Now, at one time, they actively mined the gypsum sand, but as it became kind of a park, they went ahead and discouraged that, so they don't do that now. But certainly there seems to be an endless supply. Relatively pure. So here we go, driving along endlessly. Now, we're still on the access road going into the park, because of course as we get to the main road it will be paved. Now, as we drive, there's an interesting ridges there in the road that are a result of the vehicles driving over it. So it kind of helps to have a high ground clearance, soft suspension, SUV, or pickup truck. That would be ideal for visiting the park.